Hey guys, welcome back in. I figured I'd start a new build. I have to look at an old one first so that I can remember how I built it. But gonna be building in the Distant World Tours After Party system. I already have a base over there on my other account. I figured I'd drop one off in this account as well. Um, Found a spot yesterday, so I got it kind of mapped out. I only got like an hour or so to play, but I figured if I can figure out my measurements and stuff, um, I can get started. It won't take long to build. I just have to kind of figure out how I'm going to do stuff. What I'm looking to do is something similar to this. Um, I don't know if I'm going to stagger the initiators up or not. I may just do a circle of 64. But something like that. Just want to see how close these are to actually touching, because they don't fit, directly across from each other, because you're glitching in off of light floors, so they're going to be a little bit sideways. But I wanted to see how much they actually bounce together. So, okay. And quick count here. This looks like a 32. Let's see here. Center, 1, 2. Yeah, 32 sided circle. Okay. And actually, I have to make my save at a shift. I don't know, lately I've been falling through floors and stuff in aerial bases, so you don't seem to fall through them when you reload off a landing pad. So get out of this save. I jump into a little R&D base for a second because I started to kind of figure out the spacing on that. Let's see, this one. It doesn't take long to build it. It's just there's a lot of scaffolding involved. You want to make sure you get your measurements right the first time. You don't want to do all the scaffolding, then find out you're off by a little bit and you got to rip everything down, start again. I don't want to do that. So I figure I'd take my time and look at these old builds first to make sure they look all right. I don't like how I'm getting that white screen when I log in. Yeah, this is a little R&D base that I've had for, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years now. It's just where I come to kind of figure things out. Um, that's a 128 sided circle, I think, up there that I use all the time. Figure different things out. Just to show you how old this is. You can't do this anymore. This used to be the old way of doing curves. That's something that I learned. Um, I think it was Nirvana, actually. She did a tutorial on it. And I had to leave it here because I can never remember how to do the friggin' curves. So, and came in very helpful. Now we got different ways to do it, but this is the old way. Back when we could snap pyramids together. But, I think the Ola curve and Factor curve, like prehistoric stuff there. Let's see here. Yeah, that's just where I come to kind of figure things out. I got a couple bases like this. This is where I came up with my my multi-airlock doors. Little prototype. That's a couple years old now. Different ways to do it now. Actually, this is how I figured out how to do. Got one that's called Cat Scratch and Post. That's how I figured out how to lay out my EMGs back then. That's kind of old too. This is the new project. Let's see what the overall height of these. Okay, It's 5.5, I think. I think if I put this down here, alright. So that will just barely miss that, which is what I'm looking for. Alright. You see how these are kind of kitty-cornered from each other a little bit? Once you get them all grouped up together, they look a lot tighter. Alright, so I am going to need to move up. Okay. I'll end up doing like a little sample when I'm over at the build site anyway, just to make sure I got everything lined up. I would like to have my floor. I'm gonna have to drop the floor a little bit too. That won't be too bad because it's only 32 sides, so I only have to drop everything a floor thickness, which won't be too bad. Okay. Half there, 2. Then I have to adjacency. Alright. Move that up a half a light floor. Alright. Not too bad. Quick save. Alright. Now head back over there. Yeah, I just realized I never renamed my base computer either. So I'm pretty sure I'm going into the right save. Actually, I just realized I'm gonna have to jump out here in like 10 minutes just to do something. I didn't realize it was this late already. I only had like a couple hours to jump in today. So, alright, this is my location. I did the I tried to do the quick way, where you just use the base computer and get your landing pad in place, but I couldn't get it right. And I didn't want to try too many times because you can mess up your base computer doing it. So I had to build up. I built up, you know, like 315 walls, I think it is. And then I was able to place this. And actually it didn't work out perfect because my base computer is way the heck up here, so. But it'll work. Actually, while I'm here, I have a base in the system already. This is the after party system. We already got no bases there. Okay, golden ingot. That's my other base on the other account. But you see, we got some bases going in, which is good to see. Because I don't know if they plan on touring them this year, this coming phase or not. I will take a quick run down to the base I built. Take a quick look at that. And we'll come back here, and I'm gonna have to jump out for like 10 minutes. I didn't realize how late it was. I got something that I have to do. But what I wanted to do was build a gold bar. So I did a golden ingot, and those are going to be my extractors and all that stuff over there. And each one of these silos has 100,500 gold in it. So there's 1 million gold here. You can just swing in, grab, and just a little bit of decoration and stuff. Some nip in here and some venom orchid. Yeah, a little bit of decoration. Nothing too out of this world fancy. I don't want to go and build something massive, especially when a bunch of people are going to be building here. So, and a little table glitch with the new table, and a little bar area. I like doing my bars like this now. They just look more realistic. But yeah, kind of a simple bar setup. And go out here on a separator planet too, so you can always get more separators. What I'd like to do is, with farms like this, I just have a silo here for each run, just so it just makes tying everything together easier, especially when you're trying to keep, you know, all your pipes, you know, somewhat separated and neat. You know, it could look a lot neater, but it's good enough. But there might be some lag down here, so it was kind of laggy last time I was here, because each run's only has 2 extractors on it. So I mean, it takes like 4 days to build this thing up, but it's right at the diminishing returns mark. It's an S-class hotspot, so I only needed to do 2 extractors. What I did was I glitched 33 silos on each of these, on 2 sides, and then the front I did 32 silos. You know, when you tie them into that, you know, that will give you 99,500, and then you get the other 1,000 that's inside the silo you actually collect from. And another thing I do like to do, with large scale farms like this, I think you can see, yeah, there is a switch here. So if I have to kill power to this for anything to, you know, fix some stuff, I can always just kill the power. That way it's not running and being really annoying when you're trying to do maintenance on it. So that's it for this base. I'm going to head back over to my other build site. Thought for sure my jetpack was gonna die. But actually I'll bring up the address real quick just in case anybody sees this and wants to swing in and grab some gold. Leave that there for a couple seconds. And this is in Euclid. And there's going to be quite a few bases in the system. We're already at right around 20 bases right now. But I'm sure I saw there's a Nip farm here. I think there's a couple other material farms too. There's probably some decorative ones too. I haven't been here in a couple of weeks, except for yesterday when I was looking for a building spot. So I haven't really checked out any of the bases. I could have just teleported over, but alright, that's my base over there. Head over there, I'm gonna land, I'm gonna jump out, probably about 10 minutes. I gotta do something, and I totally should have done it before I jumped in here. I was just excited that I actually get a chance to jump on and play for a little bit, so. Alright. Looks like I got a neighbor here somewhere. Jump here and jump out real quick. It'd be like under 10 minutes. For some reason I thought it was earlier than it actually is. So actually I can just jump out. There's really nothing to see here, so I can't really leave you guys a good visual. Do something like that. Alright, give me like 5-10 minutes, I'll be right back. Alright, I got my center point here. What I like to always do is put a couple of these here just to hold it. So I know that I don't accidentally delete it. Alright. Actually, I'm going to want to put that there. Now, what I do is I always want to get my center point kind of squared away. So what I do is I'll cache that, put a cube here, and I'll change the color of this. I do this just in case I lose my center point, you know, accidentally delete my wire or whatever. So what I'll do is I'll snap a bunch of these here, and then I'll leave a couple, you know, like 2 or 3 down at the bottom. I can always build back up and find my center point again. Alright. Don't need that. Actually, I can take those right out. I'm going to do my 32-sided circle to begin with. That'll end up being my floor. So, I'm going to do that out of full-size floors, so get that circle built first. Yeah, building circles is nice and quick now. No more messing around with biodomes. Alright, so over 2. I'm not going to build this all the way out. I'm just going to get a couple rows of these because I don't really need all that much space. There's a wire there. Alright, so that one's all set. Just going to come out 4 on all of these. Actually, I might as well just go with the full diameter. Below 5. I'm going to most likely gonna need to drop my floor down a little bit. I'll know better once I get things in place. Building circles is pretty boring. This part over with. Too close there. I'm not looking to build anything big here, so that center piece I need to be 64-sided though. That's going to be done with small floors, so I'll end up using that same glitch spot. Yeah, I want to build the outside first, that way I don't have to worry about, because I'm going to have a bunch of light floors in the center. I don't want to have to deal with all the clutter in the center and try to build a floor around it. So if I do it now, I won't have to mess around it. It'll make building the outside even much faster later on. So building the whole thing out right now will actually give me a better idea of how much space I'm going to be taking up because I can always make this smaller if I want to. I can always go down to like a 16-sided circle if I want, which I might end up doing depending on what I do for like a roof and a floor here. So. And again, I don't want to make like a really big base or anything because there's going to be quite a few bases in the system to begin with. I don't want, you know, some type of massive base that's going to, you know, ruin the render on everybody else's bases. So. Alright, so that's all done. Actually, move my guy out a little bit. Snap in that last floor. So jump right out into the middle here. Make this easier. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use pavers. I'm going to use large pavers actually. What I do is I color things red. That way I know it's something I'm not supposed to delete. So, I'm just going to go around, put one of these on all of them. What I'll end up doing is deleting all these floors again. I might leave the outside ring just as a extra like little insurance policy. Because I'd like to have like two backup things just in case something goes wrong. I mean, I can always find the other side of the floor pretty easily, but it's even easier when you don't accidentally delete something. So, quick save and start ripping this stuff out. Yeah, I think that'll give me plenty of room. Even with that extra floor there. One thing I do want to be mindful of is I have a wire somewhere under this floor, so I don't want to go too nuts. I know my wire is going to be facing that way, so what I do is I come over to one of the sides first and make my way around. And I always go towards the outside of the floor because I know the wire won't stick out that far. But I should see it. There's my wire there. But that's why I put those blocks under it, just in case I accidentally delete that wire. Which would not be a good thing. Alright, there's the first circle done. Now I'll do the same thing, but I'll build a 64 out of small floors. Put that there. And I'm going to get the other side of my floor, that way, because I'm going to be glitching onto this wire. I'll just pull that back to the center, and I'll get rid of that long wire. It won't be needed now. Now I'll just do a 64-sided, if I can remember how to. I haven't built one in quite a while, actually. To there. That one. Over 2. I want to make sure I'm doing all this stuff right. Alright. what I do is I always look for, because I know that I'm going to glitch in here, and there's a gap there, so I always keep an eye on where these large gaps are. That way I know that I'm glitching in the right spot. So they're all nice and even now. And what I do like to do is keep track of where I'm glitching. I'm going to put this wall here, if I can get it to snap. Alright, I know that I'm going to be building that way, and I know that way. So what I like to do on these, because especially with the using the small floors, they get kind of close together, your spots. I just want to make sure that I'm going to be lined up with those two when I go to glitch these in. I'll delete those. You can also just put walls there like I was just doing. I just do it this way because it's easier for me to see. So, we lined up with that other floor. I'm going to go over 2 and glitch onto that wire. Go the other direction. 2. Glitch onto that. And same thing over here. Go 2 to the right. Glitch onto that. And 2 to the left. Glitch onto that. Now this looks like it's supposed to. You know, everything's evenly spaced. One thing I do recommend is that when you go to do the 64 or 96 or 128, is once you get over a 32, what you're going to want to do is, you know, go in, glitch your floor like normal, and then put a floor where you left off. That way you don't lose count, because if you lose count, it's a colossal headache. Especially if you're going with a really large circle. But I'm doing the same thing. I know that my floor glitched there, so the next one I believe should glitch right here. But all I'm doing is I'm looking at the spacing and seeing where the next one goes in. And yep, we just went right there. So if you don't see your floor pattern change after you glitch them in, just hold up and figure out what you did. Either you'll have a wire floating over here where it misglitched, or you glitch 2 floors on top of each other. Then you get a problem, because you can't have your floors glitch on top of each other. You do that, everything gets all wonky. Next one. There's going to be 8 different ones you do here, because you're doubling the size. I'm going from a 32 to a 64. Alright, and this will be the last one. Alright. You can always, you know, just stop and make sure everything looks right. You know, if you don't want to have to restart the process all over again. Just take your time. Alright. There's going to be a 64 there. What I always do is I will make a save. Alright, now what I do want to do before I get too carried away, I like to map out where the front and back is on stuff. And what I do is I like to use the lanterns for that. So what I do is I always put my wire towards the front of my building. So all I have to do is kind of look over here. I know that's going to be my front. That way I don't have to actually count the floors going around. And do the same thing on this side. And the sides can be a little bit tricky if you're going with a larger circle, but this is only a 32, so it's not bad. Just kind of follow it right across. I just do the 4 points. Just because I'm going to have to count, I'm going to have 64 floors in the center, so it makes lining things up easier for me anyway. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little sample just to see how these things are going to line up. So I want to make sure these are exact, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to build around to the side. That way I know that this isn't off at all. That way, you know, I'm not accidentally building off of this one. So I do that just so that I know both of these are going the same way. I think L3. Is it L2? Actually, I'm just going to come out 4 on each side. So I can always adjust that. And I'm going to want my light floors. You're going to want to make sure your light floors are all pointing the same direction as you go around. Like right now I have my notch in the top right corner. I'm going to want the same thing on this side. Alright. Put a floor in on that. And I think I came up 2. Actually, I'm just going to do a direction. Yeah, just gotta figure out how to do the first setup and then just replicate it. I am gonna have to adjust the height as well too. I'm just trying to figure out my horizontal distance. One there. That looks like it's gonna be right. Okay. Yeah, that's the distance I'm gonna want. I am gonna need to adjust my height though. So do that. And just I like using the stone for this stuff. It's just easier to see. Need to adjust that. This is kind of a pain. Let me try that. I'm gonna see if I can adjust these at the bottom. Up 2. This is what takes the longest, just trying to figure out different ways to hopefully make things a little bit easier. Alright, those are all set. Which are my floors? I'm trying to make it so that I don't have to do that adjustment with the short wall. Do that. And I want to glitch these inward. So, get the right orientation. How's this gonna look? I want that to be up higher. So, actually, and I want that to be more high. Actually, What about... Take those right out. I go with one of these. I'm trying to do things in less steps if I can possibly do that. Helps keep the piece count down too, because you're gonna have to come back and delete all that. So it still sticks out more than I want. I don't mind it. I don't mind it being raised a little, but I never thought about what I'm gonna do in the center either. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do in the center here either. Something here. This isn't really a good way to check this. Oh, I don't have any... I'm gonna have to go get glitch separators. A glitch separator is gonna glitch in lower. It should pierce that right about in half. Alright. I'm gonna have to get some glitch separators tomorrow. Or next time I'm here. I don't like how far that clips in though. So I'm gonna go a wall and a short wall on each of these, I think. I want to make sure I'm pointing the right direction. Up one. Like that. Now that should only pierce about halfway, not even halfway. Good. So that's actually right inside there, which is actually what I'm looking for. I do want to leave some clearance here because I think I might do, you know, either use glitch separators or fireplaces, something like that in the middle. Yeah, that doesn't pierce through at all now. So, all right, that's going to be my setup. Now I just got to do it 64 times. So, all right. Well, this might get messy. Okay. I'm just gonna leave that set up like that. Get rid of these. Alright. At least I only have to go out. Actually, I'll do each of these circles one at a time. That way I don't miss any of them. Especially this first circle, because they're really close together. Really easy to miss one when you put it in. Yeah, I only have to go out 4 floors, so it's not too bad. Yeah, I'll get probably like the first 2 rows of them, and then just start filling them in once I can see the floor outlines a little bit better. that's the first one. A lot of this stuff, it doesn't take long to build. It's just figuring out, you know, how you're going to do your scaffolding. I mean, this whole build, what I have envisioned, it's only going to be maybe 10 hours tops. And, you know, out of that 10 hours, probably 4 hours is just going to be figuring out, you know, your different measurements and stuff. It doesn't take long to build it once you figure out where everything's supposed to go. Alright, so I know that one's done. So I'll just do this. Do like this. Because half of the time, I get all my scaffolding in place, and it only takes like 2 hours to build everything after that. Until I get to the decorations, decorations take up a lot of time sometimes. Especially if you're trying to do something fancy or something you haven't done before. So. Because a few months ago I had somebody ask how I build these things, so I've been kind of wanting to build another one. I've done what, 2 or 3 of them now, so I haven't built one in like a year. The last one I built was actually it was on one of Zoo's memorial planets. It was the last one I built. It was actually for Kadena. Yeah, when we lost Kadena. That one's a little bit different than the one I showed at the beginning of the stream. It's a taller one. Actually, I did build something similar during last year's Distant World Tours. I used it as the foundation of a base, though. It wasn't like the central, you know, the central piece. Alright, so I think that's all of those. I think good time to save. I think I'm gonna do these one by one because I think I am gonna leave. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna leave the actual center in place. Just in case I did miss something here. Not gonna hurt anything by having it. Same thing, just gotta be careful with your wire. You don't want to accidentally delete it. Yeah, and I always delete towards the outside of the floor to give you less of a chance of accidental deletion. Not that I've ever done that, accidentally delete my center wire. Alright. So now I'm just going to line all these walls up. What I'm doing is I'm actually counting along with it as I put them in so that I know I have the right amount. Accidentally place one underneath. Probably should have deleted that other circle. Doesn't seem to be giving me too much of a headache. Yeah, so what I'm also doing is at the same time I'm keeping an eye on where these metal pieces are, making sure they're all, you know, spaced out correctly. If you're off, you're gonna know right away if you missed one. There'd be a big gap there. Yeah, I try not to rush through builds because just one little mistake when you're doing one of these, or, you know, like any build, you know, one little mistake can add hours onto, you know, not just to the build, but hours onto fixing your mistake. And then there's always a chance that you can't fix your mistake. You got to either start over or figure out something different to do. Alright, so all those are right. And switch back over to the stone. These can kind of be a pain because you want to make sure they're sitting where you want them to sit. Sometimes they can be angled a little bit different. You know, sometimes they'll be like that. You know, and if you're not paying attention, I mean, you can fix it easy enough, but you just want to make sure. Like, I know something looks weird here. Yep, see, I missed one there. I know that because there was a big gap like that. Which I think this next one's gonna fill in. Yep, that's how it's supposed to look. Yeah, when the new one goes in, it fills in the gap on the second grouping of vents. That's actually where my focal point is now when I put these in. You know, is gonna be where that left side is snapping in. That's why sometimes when you watch me build stuff, I do stuff kind of quick at times. It's because I'm only focusing on that one spot. Which is good and bad. It can be bad if you're not paying attention. Get the rest of these, and then I'm gonna hop out for couple minutes. Just gonna do some medication stuff and start laying out my floors. Yeah, being able to use light floors to do this makes things a lot easier. I think the first time I did it, I actually did it with wires, and it wasn't fun. I mean, I got through it, but this last couple I've done, I've used light floors, and they've turned out really good, so take these out. Take that metal one out too. That way I can look at my pattern and see, make sure everything looks alright. So all I'm doing is just checking to see if any of these look weird. What I'll do is I'll circle all the way around. Actually, delete that out of there. Make sure none of these look off at all. Everything looks good there. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to, got medication I gotta take, so I'm gonna go do that. Shouldn't be too long. It's only like 7 or 8 pills, but a couple of them are pretty big, so. And I'll go take care of that. Just trying to figure out what I want to do next, though, before I jump out. I'm gonna actually take out this other circle. Is everything lined up there? See, I left 2 rows of floors here just in case I ended up missing one somehow, so it was just like an extra backup piece. I should leave that. Actually, I think I'm just going to snap these floors in now. I just want to make sure that the that little notch, I want to make sure they all face the same way. I'm just going to go nice and slow here. Make sure I get them all. And make sure they don't accidentally turn on me. Alright, like this next one turned. I'm just going to rotate it a little. I'm surprised I actually rotated it the right way. I never get them to rotate the way I want them to. Yeah, so that's the only thing I'm focusing on when I'm doing this. I'm trying to go slow, make sure I don't miss any of them, and make sure they're all facing the same direction. Once I get these all put in, there's a quick way to verify they're all pointing the same direction. I'll just show that too, because that's one thing I always do as well. Even though I'm 99% sure they're facing the right way, there's always that, you know, a slight chance they might not be. Especially when you reach the end up here, because the way these floors overlap, sometimes it can be difficult to see what direction they're facing. Especially like the last couple. Alright, so that should be all of them. Now one thing you can do is, if you go towards the outside of the floor, you can see where your electrical connections are. So all I'm going to do is go around, make sure all the lightning bolts are facing towards the left. You know, the point of the lightning bolt. Make sure every single one is facing the same direction. And I try not to rush this step either, because sometimes if you get complacent, sometimes you may miss one. But all of these are looking pretty good. If you're in an area where you really can't see these very well, you can look at the other side and just make sure that your light, the light is on the left-hand side. Just make your way around. Especially if you're in like a dark area or a really, really bright area. Sometimes it can be hard to see that green connection symbol, so you can go by that red blinking light. Alright. So I'm gonna be a few minutes, back over here and open up this. Alright, this should only be like 5 minutes or so. So I will be right back. Now, one thing I did want to check. Just want to bring one of these back in. I want to see where that little computer screen is. And it is going to be at the bottom. I don't know if I like that. It should be enough clearance. You know what? I am not gonna chance that. Alright. I'm ripping out all these. I'm ripping out all these floors. I want this to go the other way. I'd rather have all the computer screens up at the top than at the bottom, so rip all these out. See, at least I noticed it now. I should have noticed it earlier and I didn't think of it. So I just want to be kind of careful when I do this because I don't want to accidentally delete a wall. And actually, I need to mute here for a couple seconds, guys. What I want to do is, I want to put that notch on the inside now. So, I'm actually going to delete these. I just want to make sure everything's right before I start doing this. Okay, so that's going to flip these around this way. Alright, so I think that's my setup. I'd probably be fine with that computer screen at the bottom, but yeah, I'd rather keep it up top. That way I know I definitely have enough room. So, alright. That's gonna work. And take out this stuff. I'll go around, put these floors back in. It's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. I just want to make sure, you know, you can't really see the notch now, but you want to make sure the thick line is towards the inside. It's a little harder to see, but it doesn't seem too bad. So I'm going to be muted here for a few minutes. I got somebody coming in to talk to me, so I will, yeah, just continue going around. Alright. I got those all flipped around. I should, what I'm gonna do is I just want to get my four spots here. One there. One there. What I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna actually stagger some of these going up too. And like I did with that first example I had. I want to kind of mark these. Just trying to think of a good way to mark these though. Actually, I'll use a different thing here. Use the ally floors on that. That one. That one. Alright. Double check these, make sure they're pointing right at the lanterns. Alright. Those will be kind of like the starting point of them. So I know where to start and where to finish. There should be 15 in between these. You know, that's 0. This last one should be number 15. Start again at 0, 15. They're just going to stagger going up. Alright, the rest of these can all use stone. Let's go around to all of these, which in a small floor. Yeah, and at least you can easily tell if something is off. It just kind of sticks right out. No, it's going to be kind of a pain getting those ones that are staggered, because small floors don't like to snap to things. So that I'll probably do off stream because it's super frustrating. Alright, those are all set. So, let's do a quick save. Alright. Actually, this first one, pretty sure it's the top one that I glitch on. Double check before I get carried away. Okay, yep, that's the one I want. So, get rid of that. I'm going to do the same thing here. This one's an alloy. Put another alloy there. Just to distinguish between the two. Go. I'm trying to get these things angled or lined up sometimes. Yeah, real challenge. It's worse with the light floors because you want to make sure they're all pointing in the right direction. Alright. Rest of these ones in. Yeah, of course that one doesn't want it. Go. Sometimes if you can figure out the right angle, you can get like 3 of these to snap in real easy, but there we go. Although just kind of getting the right angle on them. If you overshoot just a little, either overshoot or undershoot with your cursor, it gets all wonky. No, it doesn't want to go in there. Sometimes it is easier to build from the bottom too with small floors. That one in. Super annoying. It should snap right in there. I hate it because you get it lined up and then you just move a little hair and it pops back out. Go. Now this is only going to be 64 of them. Well, actually, that's going to be 128 by the time I'm done, but that's if I decide to do that stagger thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to or not. Move this. So I can take that right out. Yeah, you want to just barely move your cursor in between these. And once you think you figure it out, your angle changes a little bit and you gotta line it back up. There we go. Oh, I did miss that one. Yeah, you just barely have to move your cursor to the next one. might be easier if I take out the stuff at the bottom too. You got so many different snap points now. It confuses the game. The small floors have been an issue for a long time. They've gotten better, but they're still frustrating to use. Especially when you got a bunch of them. In a kind of a small area. And you find that little magical angle and you can get quite a few of them snap right in. Yeah, the last one's going to be a nightmare. If I can get that one from the bottom. Oh. Thought it was going to snap right in there for a second. Sometimes you just got to experiment a little bit with your angle. It'll go in eventually. It shouldn't be this difficult. Out some of these. That'll help out later on. Yeah, it keeps trying to snap to that. When you're doing this, you just want to make sure you're actually deleting what you mean to delete. Man, it's getting ridiculous now. Oh, there we go. What I'm going to do is take these out. These are adding way too many snap points. At the same time, just going slow and not rushing anything. Take all these right out. I wanted to do. It won't really matter, but as long as I don't delete that top one. But let's see if I can snap that back in there though. Yeah, it's gonna be a pain. Take out a few more of these, it might be easier. It's kind of like why I like the old menu, or the old delete menu, because it required 2 buttons to hit. So you could, it was a little bit harder to make mistakes. In this new build system, you only have to hit 1 button to delete. Makes it easier to, you know, accidentally delete things. For me, anyway. But the old system is almost like you had to kind of verify you wanted to delete. Alright, now, I'm gonna be careful here and take these light panels out. A lot of times what I'll do is, like, I deleted the ones that were there, I'll actually skip a panel. That way I can delete multiples at once. This feels a little safer to me. I don't have to move my cursor, I just delete whatever's there. Luckily I have this outer ring, so if I do really mess something up, at least I can get my stuff back. Let's see if I can snap that in here. What a pain. It should snap right in, yeah. Be a little lower. Like I was able to snap to a couple of them. Yeah, luckily it's nothing I really need, but especially when I get the top portion on, I won't have to worry about it at all. And before I actually save, I just want to verify that nothing is missing, except for that one piece that I know about. I wish I could snap that in there. That bothers me. I'm just gonna delete it when I get the top part on anyway. It's just an annoyance. It's something that should work, and it doesn't. Okay. Now that those are in, now I'll do my light panel. I just want to make sure that the blinking light is going to be on the outside, and the thick, you know, this It's this pattern going all the way around. But what I'm mainly going to be looking for is the red light. Luckily, I know what direction the stuff points. So I'm looking for this pattern right now, where you got the double line on the left-hand side. I'll just slowly just make my way right around. Make sure they're all pointing the same way. Now, luckily, they seem to be snapping in no problem, but you just want to make sure that you're not missing any of them. Sometimes can be kind of hard to tell. You also want to make sure these don't flip around on you or anything. This is going really good, but when I get to the other side, like the last probably 3 or 4 are gonna be a challenge to get in. Just want to go kind of nice and slow, make sure nothing flips around on you. It's already getting more difficult to place them. Yeah, and again, that last one, alright. I believe that's facing the right way. Yep. The same type of deal. You have to kind of be away a little bit in order to get the lightning bolts to show up. But all I'm doing is make my way around, make sure the tip of the lightning bolt is facing outward. I'm just kind of scanning back and forth as I make my way around, making sure none of them look different. These are all looking good. Alright. Those look fine. That'll be my first row. Now we get the fun stuff. Yeah, because these are going to stagger going up. What I want to do is I want to find this metal one again. That's going to be my starting point. So what I'm going to do might be easier to see from this side. Okay. Well, thought it might be easier. So many of them. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these up. Actually, I don't need that. my first row, so this is going to be a nightmare. I can tell already. I might be better off building out and over. I don't know if this is going to work better or not. I'll give you guys an idea of what I'm thinking here. What I'll do, okay, because this is my starting one. What I'll do is I'll move this up. What I'm gonna do is every two, I'm gonna move up another level. Okay, yeah, that actually seems to work pretty good. So what I'm thinking is, this is where I'm gonna start, be on that one, and I'll still, you know, let's just build these right out. 1, 2, 3. That's how those are gonna look. That'll be like the baseline, the stationary center part, and then I'm gonna have two of them stagger up. So that it does raise up a little bit, like that. See how nice and tight those are now? It's all, especially when you do a reload, they're all in sequence. And as you can see, two of them go up for everything. And then when I get over to here, this one will start at the bottom again, and it will stagger up. These will stop growing, and it'll get reset back to the bottom again. So I'll have what going up 4, 5, 6. I'm going like 7 or 8 up. So there'll be a bunch of these that kind of go up in the air, and you'll have all the ones in the center. But yeah, I think that's kind of the setup I'm gonna go with. So I'm probably gonna end up, yeah, I gotta be jumping off, but I think I'll jump on tomorrow and try to get, you know, the basic layout down and finish this thing off. It shouldn't take very long to do, so then I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with the floor. I might go down to that other planet and get some glitch separators. I might use those in the floor, you know, towards the center or something. But I think that's gonna do it for me tonight. I don't know if there's gonna be more stuff in Phase 6. I'm waiting to see waiting to see the list get updated. I know Tesseract's been working on it, so hopefully, hopefully get those videos, or that way I can start making some videos. Because my time's super limited right now, so I've been doing videos of all the different waypoints, but I'm just getting busy outside of No Man's Sky, so some of those videos are going to be a little bit later than I was hoping they'd be. I had a bunch of time yesterday to make videos, but I don't have a list of the bases to go see, so that sets me back a lot, actually. So, alright. Well, I'm going to call it there. I appreciate everybody swinging in, and I will see you next time. Take care.